Airports in South Korea, especially Incheon International Airport, are more than just travel hubs, they are runways of fame. For K-pop idols, stepping into the airport is like stepping onto a stage. Cameras flash relentlessly, fans line up with banners and gifts, and every subtle gesture becomes material for headlines. Over the years, BTS has turned countless airport appearances into viral moments, each sparking waves of excitement, speculation, and emotion across the globe. On one seemingly ordinary day, the world of ARMY was shaken to its core. Taehyung, Jimin, and Jungkook appeared together at Incheon Airport, but something about their interactions, or the lack thereof, set social media ablaze. Fans who were present claimed the atmosphere felt different. Taehyung was unusually quiet, Jimin and Jungkook seemed caught up in a private world, and the distance between them raised questions no one expected. The whispers began instantly. Why isn't Taehyung talking? Did something happen between the members? Is Jungkook avoiding eye contact? As videos spread online, the fandom fragmented into camps of interpretations. Some insisted it was nothing more than exhaustion from packed schedules. Others believed something deeper was brewing beneath the surface. But the tension only grew because Taehyung remained silent. The usually warm, expressive, and playful V did not comment or explain his mood. Instead, he carried himself with a calm detachment that left ARMY unsettled. What was going on in his mind? Was this silence accidental or intentional? This was not the first time BTS had gone viral at the airport, but this moment felt different. The combination of Taehyung's silence, Jimin and Jungkook's bond, and the cameras catching every detail created a perfect storm. Fans around the world held their breath, waiting for clarity. Little did they know, Taehyung would soon break his silence, and when he did, it would leave everyone speechless. For years, Taehyung has been known as one of the most expressive members of BTS. His deep baritone voice, mischievous smile, and ability to wear his emotions openly have made him a fan favorite. Whether he was laughing at Jin's jokes, teasing Jungkook during rehearsals, or showering Jimin with warmth, Taehyung rarely left fans guessing about how he felt. That's why his silence at Incheon Airport came as such a shock. The usual spark in his eyes seemed dimmed, and while cameras flashed all around, he kept his gaze low, his expression calm, almost unreadable. For the countless fans who had grown used to Taehyung's radiant energy, this version of him felt strange, almost unsettling. The birth of speculation. The fandom, known for its dedication and sharp observation skills, began analyzing every frame of the videos taken that day. Some claimed they saw Taehyung avoiding Jimin and Jungkook on purpose. Others pointed out his slow steps and the way he kept his hands tucked into his pockets, as if to shield himself from attention. Soon, theories filled social media platforms. The exhaustion theory. Taehyung was simply tired from an overloaded schedule, with photo shoots, recordings, and preparations draining his energy. The disagreement theory. Something personal might have happened between Taehyung, Jimin, and Jungkook, leading to awkward tension in public. The protective silence theory. Taehyung chose silence intentionally, perhaps to protect the group from unnecessary rumors or spotlight. Each theory spread like wildfire, amplified by the passion of ARMYs who wanted answers. Media and headlines. Of course, the Korean and international press wasted no time in picking up the story. Headlines began to appear. Taehyung's cold demeanor at Incheon raises questions among fans. BTS members spotted, but where was Taehyung's smile? Is there trouble in paradise between Jimin, Jungkook, and Taehyung? These headlines only fueled the frenzy. Even casual followers of BTS became curious about the mystery. Fans' emotional roller coaster. For ARMY, the silence was not just about a celebrity looking serious at an airport. It was personal. Taehyung had always shared himself so openly through Weverse posts, live streams, and his music. To see him retreat into silence felt like a wall had suddenly gone up between him and his fans. Some fans defended him passionately. He's human too. He doesn't have to smile every time for the cameras. Others, however, couldn't hide their worry. It's not like him. I feel like something is wrong between him, Jimin, and Jungkook. The tension grew heavier with every passing hour. But then, just as fans began to lose patience, Taehyung decided to finally break his silence. And when he did, the entire fandom stopped in its tracks. Among all the relationships in BTS, the friendship between Jimin and Jungkook has always stood out as unique. The two have spent more than a decade together, growing from teenagers into global superstars under the same roof, facing the same struggles, and sharing the same victories. Their dynamic has often been described as a balance of opposites: Jimin's warm, nurturing energy paired with Jungkook's playful, yet sometimes shy demeanor. A history written in small moments. Fans remember countless interactions that highlight their closeness. Jimin guiding Jungkook during their trainee days when he was the youngest and most inexperienced. Jungkook playfully teasing Jimin on stage, only to be met with Jimin's patient smile. Late-night live streams where they laughed endlessly over inside jokes, making ARMY feel like part of their private world. This long history of shared moments has created a bond that fans often describe as unspoken understanding. Sometimes a simple glance between them says more than words ever could. The airport glimpse. At Incheon Airport that day, it wasn't just Taehyung's silence that drew attention. It was also the way Jimin and Jungkook seemed deeply in sync with each other. They walked side by side, occasionally whispering, their laughter breaking through the otherwise tense atmosphere. To casual observers, it might have looked like nothing unusual, two friends chatting at the airport. But for ARMY, every detail was magnified. Fans noted how Jungkook leaned slightly toward Jimin, how Jimin smiled as if reassuring him, and how their pace matched perfectly. For some, this was heartwarming. No matter what happens, Jimin and Jungkook always have each other's backs. For others, it deepened the mystery. Why does it feel like Taehyung is on the outside of this moment? The hidden bond debate. The idea of a hidden bond between Jimin and Jungkook is not new in the fandom. Over the years, ARMYs have speculated endlessly about the depth of their friendship, sometimes interpreting it as brotherly love, sometimes as something more. The airport moment reignited these debates with full force. Some argued that their connection was a natural result of years spent together in high-pressure environments, surviving exhausting tours, supporting each other through health struggles, navigating fame and loneliness as young idols. Others insisted there was something different about the way they looked at each other, something the cameras only barely managed to capture. Regardless of interpretation, what stood out was clear. While Taehyung kept his silence, Jimin and Jungkook's bond was shining through more vividly than ever. And this contrast only made fans more desperate to understand what was really happening between the three. Fuel for fandom fire. The bond between Jimin and Jungkook has always been a double-edged sword for ARMY. On one hand, it's a source of joy and comfort. On the other, it often becomes the center of speculation wars within the fandom. The Incheon Airport incident magnified this dynamic, dividing fans into groups. Those who celebrated Jimin and Jungkook's closeness. Those who worried it signaled tension with Taehyung. Those who begged everyone to stop overanalyzing and simply respect the members' privacy. But as history has shown, speculation rarely stops once it begins. And with Taehyung yet to address the situation, all eyes remained fixed on his next move. The world of ARMY had been holding its breath. Every hour that passed without clarification from Taehyung only added fuel to the fire. Fans dissected videos frame by frame, media outlets released speculative articles, and hashtags like #TaehyungSilence and #BTS@Incheon trended worldwide. Then, finally, the silence broke. The moment it happened. It was during a brief media interaction after BTS's return from an overseas schedule. Taehyung, dressed simply but radiating his usual elegance, paused when a reporter asked about his quiet demeanor at the airport. Cameras zoomed in, microphones stretched closer, and for a heartbeat, it seemed like he might ignore the question. But then, in his deep, steady voice, Taehyung responded. "I know many of you are curious," he began, his tone calm but firm. "Sometimes silence is not about anger. It is about peace. That day at the airport, I just wanted to stay quiet and watch over my brothers." The words were simple, but the weight behind them was immense. Reading between the lines, fans immediately began interpreting